I'm sure there can be a deeper conversation here, but it seems to me we are still feeling the effects of the COVID season by not being able to see high-level play from the second-team players such as McCord or Brown.
I was just looking at the stats for Ohio State's backup quarterbacks over the years. In 2019, Chris Chugginoff threw like 43 passes and 6 touchdowns. But all in all, in 2016, Joe Burrow only threw 28 passes. Ohio State's backup quarterbacks this year have thrown like 21. And last year, it's about the same number. So really, I don't know that if that's the case in terms of the quarterback specific position. So I don't know that it's COVID at this point any longer. I think Ryan Day for some coaches, a 28-point lead is still nerve time. It's like, well, anything could happen. Better keep the starters out there for a 35-point lead. And then once you get the 35-point lead, you're like, 42 would be good. And then we can bring the other guy, bring in the new guys. And then once that finally happens, it's like, okay, now you're 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Just go hand the ball off. Now, I do think if Ohio State doesn't make the playoffs, C.J. Stroud is done at Ohio State, and now you can spend your Rose Bowl, your bowl prep, figuring out Kyle McCord and Devin Brown and getting them like this is all about them now. And then you go with Kyle McCord in the Rose Bowl, which would be my assumption, and you get started on the 2023 season with the first game of 2023, and that's the Rose Bowl.
Just as it was last year, great jumping off point for Marvin Harrison Jr. and Emeka Egbuka. I mean, that got their career started essentially. So no reason why those quarterbacks, if that's what it is, and it would be Washington, it would seem, because if USC wins, they're in the playoff. If Utah wins, then that catapults Ohio State into the playoffs, so they wouldn't go to the Rose Bowl. So it looks like it would be Washington, the highest ranked Pac-12 team that's not in the playoffs. So which I don't know anything about Washington at all. So
it would be like Penn State, USC. If USC loses, there's still so much to figure out there because you'd have Ohio State and Michigan in the playoffs. So I assume Penn State would be in the Rose Bowl.
Penn State in Utah would be in the Rose Bowl.
Because Utah, right? Yeah, they would be in the playoffs.
Penn State and Utah would.
Boy, that's going to sell some tickets.
I think it's Penn State versus Tulane as of right now in the Cotton Bowl is probably what it seems like, and go from there. But
don't go to that.
Clemson against somebody good in the maybe Clemson, Alabama, but I don't think it can be Alabama. Doesn't Alabama have to go to the Sugar Bowl if they don't go to the highest rated SEC team has to go to
they have the deal with SEC.
They have to go to
they're locked into the Sugar
Bowl.
They must have to go. They have to. The contractually obligated to go to a bowl that they only have to drive to. No flying allowed, and it cannot be more than 47 minutes from door to door.
Hey, what do you think about Purdue giving Michigan some fits with Aiden O'Connell throwing it all over the lot, and Michigan maybe having a little bit of a letdown after they slayed the big beast? Purdue wasn't exactly the 27 Yankees down the stretch here, but they did win their last 3 games. I don't know. Could they?
Aiden O'Connell's going to be playing with a heavy heart. His brother just passed away.
No.
Yeah.
That's awful. I saw the line was 17. I'm like, that's way too much. That just seems like to me like Michigan. Of course, Michigan could go in there and blow them out too.
Really good.
Yeah.
I don't know. What
anytime,
do you think,
I think anytime you get the emotional aspect in there, like we were all there on the sidelines in 2018 at Purdue for that with Tyler Trent and that whole thing. And it just creates a different kind of atmosphere. But I think Purdue, if they can protect and then make some guys miss, I think they can score on Michigan. But Michigan's plan against Ohio State just worked so well, and Ohio State was so helpful. It's like, well, what happens if nobody helps Michigan? What if Purdue chooses not to help Michigan? How does it go? I think it could be pretty exciting. I think we've seen Ohio State come off of that Michigan game and have some close calls in the Big Ten championship game against lesser teams, Northwestern, and Wisconsin. And so, anything can happen. And the thing is, Michigan can lose. They're still in. So, like, the stakes are really Like they're not even going to lose the venue. Like they'd go from 2 to 3. And so like there's nothing bad can happen for them in this game.
Any chance for Purdue, Kevin?
No.
Okay. I think there's
I can't. I mean, I just don't see it. I just don't see it. I don't.
Yeah.
Okay, there's nothing. I mean, there's nothing for Michigan to lose. Yeah, there is a Big Ten championship. I mean, a trophy, the ring, etc. The banner over there at Lucas Oil that gets put up for like a week a year or whatever. I mean, I've never been there for a Colts game to see if they leave them up there, but there's plenty on the line there. I mean, I think that there's a level of does it if they go in there and they lay an egg against Purdue, I mean, does it delegitimize what they've done this year? I mean, I think that they're going to come out focused, and I think that I think by halftime of that game, everybody's going to be looking to see what's on other channels because I'm not expecting much of a game.
27-10 at halftime, maybe something like that.
If Michigan hadn't done what they did last year after the big high Ohio State and then trounced Iowa, I'd question it a little bit more, the big letdown. But Purdue's more of a wild card.
Yeah, Jim Harbaugh will give the Herb Brooks speech, like if you blow this one, you'll take it to your graves or whatever, and that whole thing. And so go get another Big Ten championship. It's been since 2004 since you've had more than one, and now you'll have another trophy on a very, very empty trophy shelf.
Purdue's more of a wild card for me. At Minnesota, Iowa, Wisconsin, Illinois showed up. Like, I know what they're going to bring week to week, for as lousy mixed with the good as it is. Run the ball, defense, they're all pretty much in that same. Iowa would be a higher caliber of defense than the others, but the rest of them are really strong defenses, but run the ball and we can't throw it. Versus Purdue, man, Aiden O'Connell, he's going to sling it around. They're just a different Western Division team, and they've looked on occasion better than those other teams, but on occasion they've looked horribly worse than all those other teams. Really bad.
That's the problem. You never know what you're going to get. Like midway through the season, they started looking like the best Big Ten West team, and then they go and lose. Like, you can't rely on them, but you also can't underestimate them either, which is the problem with most of those Big Ten West teams.
D2, K2. Good point here. Why is Alabama getting considered over Tennessee? Whoever wants to take that one on.
Because they're Alabama.
Okay.
If they were named Mississippi, it wouldn't be like this.
Bama's Bama.
Bama's Bama. Just look at the name of the school. That's all you need to know.
Don't lose to South Carolina.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is Tennessee lost to now South Carolina turned out to beat Clemson the following week, but what a great 2 weeks it is to be at South Carolina. They're going to give Beamer a lifetime extension after that.
Yeah, if you go outside the head-to-head matchup, Bama's not had the South Carolina blowout loss, and they played LSU better. They got a better out-of-conference win. You can go all those directions, but they're both 10-2 playing in the same conference, and Tennessee won the game. So, good point. I believe in head-to-head, that's for sure, except for you've got a bunch of merry-go-rounds when you start head-to-head because you got all these, Kentucky beat Mississippi State, but Mississippi State beat Arkansas beat, you can go do that forever in most of these conferences, especially the ACC and the Pac-12. DC Triple X, thank you so much for the contribution out of Penn State going to the New Year's Six. Congratulations. This is James Franklin's legacy at this point. A lot of 10-2s go to a New Year's Six and lose.
Cashing them checks, babe. Cashing them checks.
Yeah.
Once they move to the 12-team playoff, though,
they're in.
Yeah.
They're in.
Yeah. What? 10 seed versus the 7, 11-6 game.
You might get some Happy Valley, like a home game in Happy Valley. I think a home playoff game in December in Pennsylvania. That's pretty cool.
Be like a snow globe.
White out in the snow, yes.
Brainius, thank you for being here. Thank you for the contribution.